Hey, we're talking late payments today, helping a prosperity partner decide if he should just close the card, if he should dispute it, what would be the best course of action. So let's make sense of some things. Hey, welcome to Credit Makes Sense with Netiva, the Frugal CrediTnista, where we talk about money, credit, and everything in between. Super excited to be here with you guys today as we help one of our prosperity partners decide how to tackle this late payment. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. If you like what I'm laying down, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And a little bit about me. I own a financial education services firm where we help our clients to repair, restore, rebuild, and transform their credit scores. I also own the bomb.com DIY online financial academy, Credit on Fire Academy, where we teach our students how to master their money, destroy their debts, and soar their credit scores so they can leverage their finances to create wealth. And my epic free community, Credit Makes Sense, which is where some of these questions stem from, and I left the link for you to join below and continue the conversation. So let's get to it. Our prosperity partner is asking what to do about his 120-day late payments. He has a credit card. It's his oldest open credit card account, but only has a limit of $200. He wants to know if he should pay it off and close it. Will his scores improve if he does? And are late payments only factored on open accounts? So let's tackle the last one. Are late payments only considered on open accounts? No, it's late. So it's going to be scored. Now, how old the late accounts happen is another thing to consider. So this is an open account. So I would not close it because that's not going to do absolutely anything for you. Let me actually bring up an example. Give me one sec. Okay, so I copied and pasted this really quick, so it's not that clear, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to give you two different scenarios. So the bottom scenario is someone who was just late one time and then they continued on paying on time after that. And the top scenario is someone who was late beyond that one time and was continuously late. So consider what your particular account looks like. So here you're going to see 90s, 120s, 120s. This isn't a credit card. This is a student loan account, but the same thing applies. The entire credit scoring model is based off of the likelihood that the consumer, us, will be 90 days or late on the account. And so you have proven to be the client or the consumer rather, that's 90 days or more late. That is okay because anything with your credit can be restored or repaired. So from here, keep in mind that you still have an open account. So what does that mean? Do you see all of the green in the bottom picture? This can be restored by simply continuing to pay on time from this moment forward. You mentioned that this is your oldest card, being that it's only $200, that lets me know one of two things. Either number one, there has been some other kind of spotted payment history, so they haven't felt comfortable bumping up your credit limit to a higher amount. Or two, you still have kind of a fairly new credit profile and you've got some late payments going on. Things happen, especially right now with this economy. So from here, I would do two things. Number one, charge very little on this account if it is paid off. If it's not paid off, stop charging to it as well as any of your other cards until you bring, if applicable, until you bring that balance down. You want your utilization to report literally under 10%. Now, I would advise a little bit more because you want that limit to increase, but in this case, we're focusing solely on building positive payment history and not about increasing your credit limit right now. Right now, we need positive payment history so that those late payments can get older and older and older and older And the new payment history is going to be zoned in and focused on more. And as you do that more, that is going to decrease your risk because you're going to have more of these green OKs than you have of these orange and yellow late payments. So that is the first thing that I would do for you. Now, typically when we're talking about late payments, the goodwill letter usually comes up as a tactic to get them removed or possibly get them removed. Disputing or the goodwill letter. So let's tackle the goodwill letter. This is literally where after you have paid off the account, paid down the account, or been on paying on time for a while, you write into the creditor, a higher executive, requesting a removal out of good faith. I was going through a hard time. I was unemployed. I was adversely affected by COVID. This is what was going on. If I can please have either all of the late payments or the most recent ones or the most damaging removed. And then you are literally just banking on their good faith to do it, right? So I have had the most success with the scenario at the bottom. One or two isolated late payments, and then everything else is a field of green than how I have had in the top example. And the reason why this is not a good candidate is because they was late, they paid on time, then they were late again. And I didn't even do a snippet of the whole payment history. There's all types of yellows and oranges and, well, I guess light orange and darker oranges on here. So keep that in mind. Are you a good candidate for a goodwill letter? This is how you know. So this isn't particularly to just our prosperity partner, but this is for all of us so you can know if you should kind of rock out with a goodwill letter or not. Isolated instances have the highest percentage of getting a goodwill letter. Whereas if you are late continuously throughout the time you've had this account, then you're not really a good candidate. Now, I know some of you will zone in to the differences of the account history here. And you'll say, well, there's some negativity going on. There's some missing payment history, all of that good stuff. So I have found that when I am looking at credit monitoring reports that I'm going to see this, and this may not exactly be factual. So right now, while we have the opportunity to pull free weekly annual credit reports from annualcreditreport.com, do that and compare it to what your credit monitoring service is reporting to actually see if this inaccurate payment history is reporting. Now this for him is an open account. So I wouldn't even rock out with trying to dispute it because then you can get the whole thing deleted. And because you dispute it, you can actually get the entire account closed. And because you only have a $200 credit card limit and this is the oldest one on your account, no. So for you in particular, work on getting all green, all okays, so that this negative history, which may look like the top one, can get older and older and older, but FICO is zoning in on this continuous positive payment history, and it's going to score that the most. Now, for those of you who are going to go ahead and dispute the inaccurate information, you found that it's accurate on both the bureau reports and on the credit monitoring reports, then definitely go ahead and do a factual dispute on the inaccuracies, but keep in mind they can update it. Or they can do this. Actually, before I even tell you what they can do, let me go through some of the other areas that you can dispute the account. This is completely different other late payment history, but this is giving you a good example of how there's like lates all throughout, but they're kind of inconsistently reporting. So if you are going to go the dispute route, it is a closed account like this one is here, and you want to tackle it via dispute method. You want to go ahead and find different areas in which you can dispute it. So here you have the payment history is kind of all out whack, but actually go through the account and see what's up as well. Account status, is that all right? Is that correct or consistent, meaning all the bureaus are reporting the same information across the board? Look at the date open. Remember, some bureaus report the exact date, some report the first of the month. That is not an error. Look at the terms, are they correct? Look at the high creditor balance, is that correct? Look at the payment history. The payment status, that's something that you can tackle. Look at the last date that the account was reported. Look at the commentary on there. Not too many people do disputes on commentary, but you know, my point is you want to look at all of the information. Like if I was going to go over After I've done my initial disputes, and if you don't know what that is, you definitely want to take number one, my free 5-day credit report mastery challenge. And number two, you may want to invest in my DIY credit repair kit. If you just want this information, the basics on how to dispute. If you're looking to rock out full time and get all of your credit life together, and you're looking to DIY this, then definitely Credit on Fire is the way to go. That's my online academy. But at any rate, if I'm going to zone in on something here, I will focus on payment status, and I will focus on the last payment versus going after the last reported in the date of last activity. I will focus on those because this is like really wrong. 5/1/18, 11/30/18, and then this is just like, coincides with what's showing here in the payment history at the bottom, the 2-year payment history at the bottom. But these are your factual disputes where you're going in and finding legit inaccuracies, no matter how small. Keep in mind that I'm showing you this on a closed account, but you want to consider the age of the account before you just start deleting stuff off of your reports, because there is some payment history probably somewhere back here because it's been open since 2016. So even though it's negative towards the end of it, there is some positive activity going on, and you can lose that. Remember, payment history looks at everything, and age is going to consider both closed and open accounts. Age is just age, right? It's just going by the date that it was open, the date that it was closed. It's just age. So you're talking from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 5 years. Can your report stand to lose the amount of years that this account has been on the report? So that's something you want to consider before you start disputing. This is one of the reasons why I recommend the free 5-day credit report mastery challenge, because I literally go through stuff like this so that you can kind of dissect and break your reports and pinpoint the accounts that you definitely want to dispute first before you start considering, to me, the stuff that can be a little bit more riskier. Now, what can happen if you dispute an open account? I already showed you, but let me actually show you a commentary of what happened to one of our prosperity partners. This right here, maybe it's here, somewhere around here. I'll have to figure out what a card is going to be. But basically, our prosperity partner said that, I'll read it to you guys. I disputed my late payments with Santander. They weren't consistent across all 3 bureaus, exactly what I showed you guys. They deleted the whole account from all 3 bureaus, 5 years of on-time payment history gone. And what did she say? Netiva said this can happen. Yes, it can. And I know with one of my students did it with First Premier. She's a Credit on Fire student, the one that left that comment. And another of my students did the same thing. And I warned them. Okay, when I tell you that I tell you everything in my masterclass inside of Credit on Fire, I give you the pros and the cons, right? So I let them know that this can happen, but First Premier came in, shut that account down, removed it from their reports. So when you are new to building credit, I know you guys are thinking First Premier, good riddance, but guess what? That's a gateway card. So she's brand new to building credit. I wouldn't say brand new to rebuilding her credit after some, mistakes that were made. And that's what happened. They deleted the whole account. They closed the account, and she went through panic mode. What happened? I mean, exactly what I said. What could happen? So be mindful of that when you're going through your reports, especially when it's open accounts that you're disputing late payments on. And this is the number one reason, and I teach this to my students and my clients. Anytime you're a client, you're also a student, because I educate you as I'm doing things for you. So I informed them that if it's an open account, you want to be mindful of what you're disputing. And I have this conversation with clients. And you may want to go directly to the creditor to have small things fixed if it's in your favor, right? If it's closed, you kind of have a lot of more leeway, but you also want to be mindful of how potentially removing the whole account and the age of that account, how it's going to affect your credit profile. Because I can tell you, you may be thinking that age is only 15% of your scores, but a lot of you are sitting in the 600 and 700 club for a while because you need to gain more what? Age. That 15% definitely comes in play when you're looking to hop on over into the next scoring bracket. So this was in depth and detail. But it gives you kind of a snippet of how I teach in case you want to rock out with one of our, with definitely Credit on Fire, but definitely the other course that I mentioned, my DIY credit repair kit. But start with the freebie first if you're looking specifically for what to do, what counts to touch, and all that good stuff. All the links are below. Any questions, definitely let me know. Hopefully this was able to help you make sense of some things, and I will see you guys next time. Chat soon.